I have a hobby that has shaped my life with how I play video games. That hobby is called speedrunning. What is speedrunning? It's simple. You try to beat a game as fast as possible. You find a game you love to play and decide on a set of community-defined rules and goals called a category that you are going to run. Normally a game will have an 80% and a 100% category, one to finish it as quickly as possible with no restrictions, and one where you need to complete everything as quickly as you can. The length of a speedrun can vary a lot, some games take in minutes while others take in hours. Some games also have other categories people like to run, such as completing all dungeons in Ocarina of Time or killing all bosses in Dark Souls. My name is Samura1man, I'm from Finland, and I'm a passionate speedrunner of various video games, most notably games from the Mario and Zelda series. I have been speedrunning for over 10 years, if we count having occasional breaks of course. Now, I want to tell you a story. The story of how I became a speedrunner. First, I want to talk about very early days of 2008 when I started speedrunning. There were 4 different websites where I was talking about speedrunning. These were Metro 2002, Speed Demos Archive, Cyberscore. The 4th website was in Finnish, but unfortunately the website doesn't exist anymore. The website was called Nintendo Suomen Foorumi. I would say I never had a main inspiration or role model when I started speedrunning. One of the first speedrunner I ever talked with was Master88. I cannot be 100% sure what was my first speedrun game, but I would safely guess it was Metro Prime. In 2002 I shared my speedruns in Metro Prime and Metro Prime 2 Echoes. The only way I ever was able to prove my speedruns was take a picture of the final screen. One of my runs from 2009 is actually added to the leaderboards in speedrun.com. A lot of videos I had from 2008, 9 and 10 don't exist anymore, except I have this one Metro Prime 2 video. I'm lucky this video exists so I'm able to show it to you. Every speedrun I did from Metro Prime and Metro Prime 2 were mostly done segmented, which means I was using save station a lot, as doing speedruns in single segment or RTA wasn't popular at all back in the days. It's been far too long when I started speedrunning, so I will easily forget some information. And more importantly, I never expected I will be speedrunning for years. In Cyberscore I was sharing my high scores and Vulcan speedruns. The reason I found speedrunning is actually very interesting. I was browsing YouTube, then I found a Metro Prime speedrun. I was impressed by it and I wanted to look for forums where they talk about speedruns. That's when I found those 3 forums I mentioned and Cyberscore. I had very good times in a lot of different games. I was very addicted of doing slide 3 speedruns for single levels. I found some posts of me linking videos to my 2000-year Torch speedruns. I think I never finished this speedrun, but my friend did. His nickname is Nami and his speedrun still exists in his YouTube channel. For the 1000-year tour I actually found a glitch that is helpful in speedruns, gate handle early. And this wasn't the only time I found something useful for speedruns. I found a lot of glitches and skips in Crash Twin Sanity and posted a lot of videos about them. One of those videos is top 3 most viewed in my channel. I did try to do some speedruns for Crash Twin Sanity, those were all segmented. I tried my best to find even more glitches and skips for this game. I remember having a race between my friends in Crash Bandicoot 1. I got second at the race because I got stuck in a one level and my friend who won the race started teasing me. And at that point, I started heavily practicing and speedrunning Crash Bandicoot 1. It is thanks to my friend that I started to have a competitive mindset for speedrunning. I did 80% and 100% speedruns for Crash Bandicoot 1 and I achieved world records in it. My 80% run is in a speedrun.com leaderboards. The first time I ever had a world record in any game was in Metro Prime 2, low percent. But low percent has never been as popular as 80% or 100%, so the Crash Bandicoot 1 world records were more impressive at the time for me. I did participate in a tournament called I Am a Speedrunner 5. In this tournament, we were racing against each other in a lot of Crash Bandicoot games. There were over 50 participants from different countries. I was put to the group of death, which I won. This resulted a lot of players of the tournament to be really impressed of my gameplay, as I was not making any mistakes while I was playing.
Okay, and the winner of I'm a Speedrunner 5 is Samurai Man.
all of the matches can be found in a YouTube channel called IASR5. Now I have shown you how I started speedrunning. I'm certain I'm missing some information, but that is due to I wasn't able to find everything of my history. Live streaming started to become a thing in early 2010s. In early 2011, I made an account to Justin TV, nowadays called Twitch.tv, where I started to stream live speedruns. This was my early days of speedrunning. From 2011 onwards, it was the golden era for speedrunning. If it wasn't for live streaming, I don't think speedrunning would be this popular it is right now. In early 2012, I was doing speedruns for Ocarina of Time, Link to the Past, Oracle of Ages and Seasons, and The Wind Waker. In Oracle of Ages, I achieved the world record in any percent category, with a time of 2 hours, 56 minutes and 38 seconds. There were other games that I briefly speedrun as well, such as Super Mario 64 and Skyward Sword. Around this time, a website called Speedrun's Live started gaining popularity, where people can race each other with a pot giving them a countdown. I joined this community and I wanted to do a race. My first race ever was Super Mario Sunshine. I may have lost this race, but it didn't stop me playing a video game that made me popular and known in speedrunning community.
I did it, guys. Oh man. Oh man.
This is the oldest Super Mario Sunshine any person speedrun that I managed to find. At that time when I achieved this time, I believe it was top 3. Unfortunately, every personal best before this are lost. But there are some funny moments that happened to me.
What are you doing, Mario? Yeah, grab the edge, something, I don't know.
Let's just be honest, that was my first playthrough.
Where are you going? Oh my god!
I started speedrunning Super Mario Sunshine seriously in summer 2012. From summer onwards, I did achieve world records in 79 shines, 96 shines, and 120 shines categories. In 120 shines, I was the first speedrunner to achieve under 4 hours. Towards the end of 2012, I lowered the 80% time for 1 hour and 32 minutes.
Oh my god. I did it.
When being a top speedrunner for a certain video game, there will always be rivals. I had big rivalry with Topo. Me and him were trading world records back and forth a lot. But he wasn't the only rival I had for Super Mario Sunshine. The second rival I had was Stealthic. Me and him were trading world records pretty much only in 120 shines category. One reason I kept speedrunning Super Mario Sunshine was these two speedrunners. Around this time when I was breaking world records, my streams were getting very popular. I would have hundreds of people watching my world record attempts. In early days of Twitch, getting partnered was very hard. One of the requirements was having hundreds of people watching our stream, average. Thanks to those hundreds of people watching my streams, I managed to get partnered on Twitch in 2012. Being the best runner at the game really helped, huh? Alongside Super Mario Sunshine speedruns, I had some interest for Majora's Mask speedruns. These speedruns I did in early 2013. At the time I did achieve below 2 hours. However, at the same time, there was another Zelda game I had my eyes on. That Zelda game was Twilight Princess. My first ever Twilight Princess speedrun was amazing, 4 hours, 49 minutes and 23 seconds. So amazing that I wanted to improve it by over an hour. For me, Twilight Princess was a great game to have alongside Super Mario Sunshine. Lots of other speedrunners and viewers noticed how I was getting good at video games very fast. Many people will know me from Super Mario Sunshine speedruns. Then later on they will know me from Twilight Princess speedruns. Because getting a top time in a leaderboards makes you noticed by other people. I was good at transferring my skill from Super Mario Sunshine to Twilight Princess, two completely different games for speedrunning, and that is what impressed people, especially speedrunners. There is a very special speedrun I did in 2013, but before we get into that, let's look into some of the personal records and world records I achieved in 2013. I mentioned how I got world records in Super Mario Sunshine, but there was one category where I have never had a world record, and that was 80%. Going into 2013, I was the second fastest runner for the category, and with a time of 1 hour, 31 minutes and 27 seconds, I took a world record from Topo. I had a lot of moments losing world record based runs at the late game, especially Noki Pay 6, which is one of the hardest secrets in the game. Despite of those happening, I still got new world records. And the last any person world record in 2013 was this legendary speedrun. What was that reaction? During this time I did Twilight Princess speedruns, getting better times and better times, until I achieved a world record for the first time in any percent. And a couple weeks later I got world records in No Save and Quit and all dungeons. In Twilight Princess speedruns I also had two rivals, Fino and Rotner. I was trading world records a couple times with them. Here are some more personal records from other games. This Starbucks Adventures time I had was actually a world record at the time. During 2013 there was a challenge made by a couple of speedrunners. That is called 3D Chala Challenge, where you need to complete Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword all back to back under 18 hours. It's very important to keep in mind that in 2013 all of these runs were drastically different than they are compared to today. The current world record for 3D Chala Challenge is hours faster than what I achieved in 2013. And Breath of the Wild was released in 2017, which was added to the challenge. At the time when this challenge was made, I was the first speedrunner to ever complete it under 18 hours. The final time was 17 hours, 41 minutes and 56 seconds. Unfortunately, I wasn't smart enough to highlight it on Twitch, because I had a local recording instead, which I lost. If only I did highlight even some of those runs, it would have been great for the future. Although I do have a couple of pictures I can show you, just to prove it I have done it. This was the layout I used for the challenge. This picture I took from YouTube dashboard to show that it was there. Video was corrupted, although it did show up in YouTube for a while, but it disappeared later. But there are some speedrunners still among us who saw me do the challenge. Even if the challenge took so long, I'm proud of myself being able to complete it first. During 2013 I improved 120 Shine's world record a lot. And this is where Stelzik comes in and we start threading the record. What is very memorable for me is that we used to stream doing runs at the same time. I still remember the day when he took the record from me for the first time. I saw it live and immediately after that I started my own stream. This isn't even a joke. I only did one run and beat it on the same day. I guess you can notice how 120 Shines category wasn't optimized at all back in the day, but having Stelzik aside meant that we are gonna bring down the record together, and that is how we became rivals. His and my community had some inside jokes. One of those jokes he used at the end of the 120 Shines world record.
That's it. That was a bad ending, but whatever, man. Your turn, Samur.
The last speedruns of 2013 were Sunshine 120 Shines for me. I ended 2013 with a time of 3 hours, 26 minutes and 12 seconds as a world record at the time. What do you expect that the next year is gonna be as amazing as these previous years? Well, that's not exactly what happened. This is the start of high expectations and burnout for me. Burnout hit me hard in 2014. It was already at the start of the year because of the grind for sub 1 hour 30 minutes in Super Mario Sunshine in %. Even if I didn't get it first, I still wanted to get my own sub 1 hour 30 minutes. Slowly I started to lose motivation to speedrun in general. As a top runner of the time, I always had high expectations, which isn't a good mindset for a speedrunner. I will talk more about my burnout and high expectations during this chapter. Let's take a look how 2014 speedrunning was for me. The start of the year was mostly me grinding for a Super Mario Sunshine any % under 1 hour 30 minutes. And it was getting really exhausting. Instead of the grind, I was doing some one challenges with the right side controller only. While I was doing a grind, at the end of the February, a new skip was found in Super Mario Sunshine. That is the famous Gelato Peach skip. I still remember getting this Twitter notification and thinking, this cannot be real. Or is it? What is very amazing about this skip is that it wasn't found by a player who runs Super Mario Sunshine. He's a well-known glitch hunter from Spyro community named Tofal. He found a bunch of glitches for Spyro games and he wanted to try and find a way to do Gelato Peach skip. Respect to all of the glitch hunters fighting anything behind the scenes. After I saw the video, I started my stream instantly. Lots of people came into my stream and were very excited to hear the news. When I did Gelato Peach skip on stream, I started practicing it, then I started doing a run. My first run with the Gelato Peach skip was 1 hour, 24 minutes and 24 seconds. And I was the first speedrunner to complete Super Mario Sunshine with a gelato beach skip. The reason why it saves so much time is because how we have to beat the game. In every world in Super Mario Sunshine, there is a Shadow Mario in episode 7. Beating him in every world results Delfina Plaza getting flooded and unlocking Corona Mountain, which is the final level of the game. With this skip, it opened up routing possibilities for other categories and making any person a lot shorter. The skip says roughly 10 minutes and it gave me motivation to keep grinding the game. I had my eyes on the new goal to get under 1 hour and 20 minutes. I was getting very close to my goal time. I had a personal best and a world record at the time with a 1 hour, 20 minutes and 20 seconds. But I wasn't the first one to get under 1 hour and 20 minutes. Again, the first sub 1 hour, 30 minutes and 20 minutes were done by Topo. At the time when he got the first sub 1 hour 20 minutes, it wasn't just by a few seconds. It was by almost half a minute. This kind of time resulted me to stop grinding the game for a while. This is when the burnout is about to slowly hit me. I took a break from speedrunning and I started to play other games for a while. I was playing some I Wanna Be the Guy 1 games, which are generally frustrating and very hard platforming. But for some reason I enjoyed doing them when you made progress. There were thousands of different fun games, but I wouldn't be surprised there's millions of them by now. I was able to beat some hard fun games. I didn't have that much interest to go back to Sunshine speedrunning yet, so I was speedrunning other games. I was doing some speedruns for Donkey Kong 64 and DuckTales Remastered. Doing these kind of runs were more of like finding interest to go back to Sunshine speedrunning. I didn't want to force myself to speedrun Super Mario Sunshine because most of my fans always wanted to see me speedrun that game. Eventually, I did go back to Sunshine speedrunning. After the break, I managed to get my own sub 1 hour 20 minutes in any percent. My reaction was quite unique. The viewers at the time noticed how much this meant for me.
Easy bike every time. GG. Sub 120. Oh my god, I cannot believe I did. I cannot believe it.
Having a break from speedrunning helps to reset your mindset. And maybe you will have less expectations too. I was doing runs and practice for Sunshine any percent and I took the world record back. The last time I held the world record for Super Mario Sunshine was 1 hour, 90 minutes and 20 seconds. What is very sad about this story is that a day later, Topo beat the world record. When I saw that happen, it made me feel I didn't put enough effort for speedrunning anymore. But now when I look back, was I right about myself? Did I actually feel like I didn't put enough effort for speedrunning? And I would say yes, because I didn't see myself getting better at the game anymore. And being a top runner at the game really added more pressure to me. So the result of burnout is more of a combination of high expectations, not seeing myself improving, and probably the ridiculous one, I felt like it was a job for me. But why would I feel like it was a job for me? Maybe it was because of the feeling that I had to keep doing it. And on the top of this, my life situation wasn't at the best, which I will not talk about. When you don't have motivation, it is far better choice to not force yourself and start doing something else. And that's when I tell everyone I'm gonna quit speedrunning. Though I didn't quit immediately as I talked, I still had a small motivation boost to speedrun Twilight Princess. But that motivation wouldn't last for long. With some new glitches and strats in Twilight Princess, I improved the time a lot, from the last time I mentioned during this video. I speedrun Twilight Princess all the way to March 2015, and my last personal best for Twilight Princess happened at the start of March. The final time was 3 hours, 7 minutes and 5 seconds. And that was the last speedrun of 2015. I had no thoughts to come back to speedrunning, so I moved on to play other games. Even when this video is about my history with speedrunning, I also want to cover what I was doing when I wasn't speedrunning. Playing Smash in tournaments and with friends was one thing I was doing. In Finland, I mostly traveled to the tournaments nearby me. I did place well in many tournaments. Most of the time the reason I went to the tournaments was to hang out with my friends. I never took tournaments like super seriously, but I took it seriously enough that I wanted to try to win. In Finland, one of my best performances was getting second place in a comeback to Smash 4 singles. It was also my best performance I've ever done in Smash 4 singles. I made it to the winners finals against Lota, and Lota is my friend who I really need to talk about very soon. I may have lost against him in winners finals and grand finals, but I managed to clutch the losers finals game 5. And the other one was Smash 4 doubles in Union 10. This one I still remember really well because it was a losers bracket run. At the end of 2015 Power Rankings, which was the second for the year, I was placed 3rd. From my point of view, Smash was something I never took seriously before Smash 4, so I was pretty proud of my placement in Finland. I did travel to other countries, Sweden and Norway. In Sweden there was a tournament called Beast 6, and in Norway the tournament was called Eclipse. My placements weren't that great, but I did get to the bracket at least, which was my goal. During these times when I was playing Smash, I also was interested of playing Splatoon, and Splatoon was something I enjoyed playing a ton. I would stream it every day for hours. With my friends in Finland, we had a team or clan named Frozen Force. This team was started in Mario Kart Wii era. I actually haven't mentioned this before, but I have played Mario Kart Wii a lot. But anyway, with Frozen Force, we tried to compete a little bit, but most of us weren't actively playing, except me. So I was starting to get really good at the game that I wanted to look for a really good team. No hard feelings to Frozen Force, I still love all of them, and they have always been supportive with everything. The team I found was called Name Subject to Change. We competed in many tournaments and placed very well. Splatoon was released in summer 2015 and I played it for over a year. Fast forwarding a year to summer 2016, Overwatch got released. Overwatch is still one of the few games I can go back to after long breaks. At the time when I played Overwatch, I didn't take it super seriously like I did with Splatoon and Smash. Though I was in one team that I played for, I ended up playing in that team for just a couple months, and after that I never joined another team. So it's about the end of 2016 and I'm not that interested of playing Smash, Splatoon or even Overwatch anymore. And this is the moment I want to talk about my friend, Loota. You remember I was talking about a friend who beat me in Crash 1 race. That friend is Loota. I often visited at his place to play Smash, Splatoon and board games with other friends too. During one of the visits I started to talk about motivation in competing in video games, because this was the moment when I wasn't interested of competing in Smash and Splatoon anymore. We also talked about the speedrunning burnout I had. He was very supportive to me. I remember him saying I can always go and try speedrunning again if I so feel like it. During these years, couple of my speedrunner friends and fans of my speedruns were hoping I would come back to speedrunning. But I said many times I will never come back to speedrunning. But then... After 2 years of break, I actually came back to speedrunning. Honestly, I never expected to come back to speedrunning after that burnout. Also, I would like to thank my friend Loota for sparking my motivation to come back to speedrunning. Super Mario Sunshine has a special place in my heart for speedrunning. I always find myself to come back speedrunning this game. I went to learn new strats that were discovered during my break. I got my time all the way to 1 hour, 80 minutes and 12 seconds. Then I was going to play the most anticipated Zelda game.
Open your eyes.
At first, when Breath of the Wild was released, I had no thoughts to speedrun it, but I wanted to give it a try. So I started to do runs for any percent, all dungeons, and categories I made called all towers and all kill the medals. The most notable time I had in any category was all dungeons. My best time was 2 hours 17 minutes and 6 seconds, which at the time was the second fastest time. I did Breath of the Wild runs all the way to June 2017. After that I would go back to Sunshine and improve my times in any percent and relearning 120 shines and improving my time a lot in that category. Sunshine speedruns were getting extremely optimized. At the time, the any percent world record time was approaching 1 hour and 40 minutes. Try to keep this number in your mind for the remaining of the video for Super Mario Sunshine. Towards the end of 2017, I would lower my 80% time to 1 hour, 17 minutes and 29 seconds. Breath of the Wild wasn't the only game I learned in 2017. I learned 3 different games after that. Two of them were Super Metroid and A Hat in Time. With Super Metroid I only spent a week, and within a week I got under 1 hour in any percent. A Hat in Time was released in October 2017. I was very excited to play this game because I supported them in Kickstarter years ago. A Hat in Time gave me a big vibe from old school games, which is kinda the reason I started speedrunning it. Time drifts reminded me of secret levels in Super Mario Sunshine, and it was so much fun to play the game. I did runs for just about a month for any percent, and I got second place in that. Getting a world record wasn't my main goal anymore like it used to be years ago. I had a new main goal in my mind instead: self-improving. I wanted to see myself getting better at the game instead of trying to get the world records. And this is the kind of mentality that really helped me to push myself as a speedrunner. And now let's move on to the third game I learned in 2017.
You know that you're my superstar. No one else can take me this far. I'm flipping the switch. Get ready for the sun. Let's do the Odyssey.
I played Super Mario Odyssey for the whole weekend when it was released, and I did a bunch of Koopa free runs. I got very addicted to IL runs because those are very short and fun. I managed to get Koopa free run world records in over half of the levels. Lots of people were interested to see me doing full game speedruns for this game, even I was. So I picked the any percent category a week after the release, and I got very good times in it. I pretty much immediately got to top 3 within a days. And so I was even capable of getting a world record. There was this fun run that was in a world record base, but I decided to go for a very hard trick at the end. Why I did go for it? No! Losing a run at the end like this always feels awful. You will put a lot of effort for the whole run, then see it all fell apart at the end because you get nervous. But that didn't stop me. Literally, on the next run, I got the world record. Holy damn, guys. Yes! I skipped 108! Yes! This will be the only time I ever hold world record in Super Mario Odyssey any percent. I moved on to the other categories called World Peace, Dark Side, and Darker Side. I will also proceed to hold world records in all of these 3 categories I mentioned. World Peace Speedrun World Record I will trade with Fallu, who is another Finnish speedrunner for Mario games, and he's a good friend of mine. World Peace World Record I will eventually hold for almost half a year. Many people were saying I was ahead of its time for this category, and I still had the only sub 1 hour 20 minutes time before it was beaten. Then with Dark Side and Darker Side, I was the first runner to get sub 2 hours in Dark Side and sub 4 hours in Darker Side. My best time for Dark Side was 1 hour, 54 minutes and 32 seconds. And for Darker Side it was 3 hours, 27 minutes and 17 seconds. I did hold 3 records simultaneously for Odyssey, and these were my last times of doing Super Mario Odyssey speedruns. After Odyssey, I would go back to Twilight Princess speedruns and relearn 100% speedrun. It is one of the longest single game speedrun I have ever done. Alongside, I would learn Pikmin 2 speedrun and just do a couple runs for it. After all, I didn't find Pikmin 2 speedruns too interesting for me, so I moved on to speedrunning other games. Have you noticed this kind of cycle that I have with speedrunning video games? I will pick a couple games I will speedrun for a couple weeks or a couple months, then I will go back to Sunshine speedruns after those. Moving on to the end of 2018, I relearned a video game that was my first speedrun game ever. Metro Prime speedruns are very fantastic when done properly. I purchased the American version of the game, and I was quietly practicing it before doing runs on stream. I managed to get somewhat good times in it within couple weeks, but I know I have a lot more potential if I kept running it for months. I would say I never dropped Metro Prime speedruns. I tend to get interested of doing other speedruns. And this is how I always go back to Sunshine speedruns and try to get better times in any percent and 120 shines. I set a goal for myself for any percent to try to get 1 hour and 50 minutes. I ended the year of 2018 with a 1 hour, 60 minutes and 5 seconds. So close for 1 hour and 50 minutes. At the end of 2018, Mega Man 11 was released, and I was speedrunning that for a few weeks. These were one and short runs to do. A few weeks after the release, there was a Twitch Rivals competition for Mega Man 11, and I was invited to it. I was so excited to be part of this competition. Going into next year's, I started to take Twitch and YouTube more seriously than I used to. I started to have a lot more consistent schedule for streaming on Twitch and uploading videos to YouTube. This is something I was already doing with Twitch, but I wasn't active at posting videos to YouTube. I started doing a bunch of small speedruns instead of doing full game speedruns all the time. But I was still doing a full game speedruns a lot because I had some goals I wanted to get. One of them was getting Sunshine Any% to 1 hour and 50 minutes, which I did achieve in February 3rd, 2019. After that, I moved on to Twilight Princess Any% and set a goal for it, tried to get under 3 hours. Unfortunately, I didn't get it at the time, and I still have not got it actually. The game is really preventing me from getting the sub 3. Towards the summer 2019, I had a new goal for Sunshine Any%, tried to get 1 hour and 40 minutes. The closest I got to was 1 hour, 50 minutes and 14 seconds on June 23rd. I was trying my hardest to get the 1 hour 40 minutes. Many of my runs wouldn't get past the mid-game. At that moment I knew I am so determined to get this time, because it is such a big milestone to reach. I will take occasional breaks all the time to make sure I don't burn out and do other speedruns. I picked Hollow Knight as one of my new speedrun games because of 12-hour challenge. In 12 hours you will learn the speedrun and do a speedrun for it. I picked Hollow Knight because I love the game so much. I picked a category that is never recommended to start with, called True Ending No Major Glitches. I could safely say I was ready for what was coming. The run is actually hard. My first completed run was 2 hours, 39 minutes and 44 seconds. Then the next finished run was 1 hour, 52 minutes and 48 seconds. I started appreciating this speedrun a lot. Since then I haven't really speedrun a Hollow Knight, but I do have some interest to go back to it. Now it's September 2019 and this new Zelda game was released. When I was young, one of my favorite games to play was Link's Awakening. I was so excited to hear the remake version will be coming to Switch. I always played through video games first, then I started thinking about trying to speedrun them. 3 days after the release, I did my first speedrun and I took the world record with my first speedrun too. For the past weeks since the release, lots of new skips and strats were found. I will learn those new strats immediately and start doing them in speedruns. From over a 2 hours long speedrun, it would become an hour and a half long speedrun within weeks. By the end of 2019, I would have a time of 1 hour, 11 minutes and 29 seconds. During these times, I wasn't the only one who was holding world records in this game. Another top speedrunner of this game was DGH. We were trading world records a lot. Me and DGH were minutes ahead of everyone else in the leaderboards. Starting 2020, I took down the record to 1 hour, 10 minutes and 16 seconds. At the time, I pretty much reached the limit for myself. I had an ultimate goal of getting 1 hour and 9 minutes. Unfortunately, I didn't achieve it. This run started to have lots of crazy glitches and strats that has to be done first try to have any chance to get a world record. I remember losing 5 runs to the late game that were 1 hour and 9 minutes pace. I only had one glitch left at the run, but in all of those runs I didn't pull it off and I didn't get the record to 1 hour and 9 minutes. So on that moment I decided to move off from Link's Awakening speedruns. I wouldn't say I wanted to give up on this, but I was already satisfied with my time. After Link's Awakening speedruns I would start doing some challenge runs, such as beating Super Mario Sunshine with a Guitar Hero controller, and probably the craziest ones I managed to complete, beating Link's Awakening on the Switch blindfolded. For on and off I will still try to get 1 hour and 40 minutes in Super Mario Sunshine, and yet I still have not got it. At this point it's been a year since I got 1 hour, 50 minutes and 14 seconds in Any%. Yet I still didn't want to give up on my quest to get 1 hour and 40 minutes. Around the summer 2020, a new ROM hack for Super Mario Sunshine was released, called Super Mario Sunburn. This was a pretty fun ROM hack to play. To explain what is Sunburn shortly, the world is more open and you can do episodes out of order. So it was pretty fast and easy to do a speedrun for it. Any% time would only be around 25 minutes. And with my competitive mindset I wanted to go and try to get a world record in it. And so that did happen. I will stop grinding speedruns for Sunburn after I got 24 minutes and 19 seconds. After Sunburn, I set a new goal for Super Mario Sunshine. For 120 shines, I wanted to get under 3 hours. Also, I put a bet against myself. I put a time limit to the end of the year 2020, otherwise I have to gift 100 subs to my Twitch channel. The reason I did this was to motivate myself to speedrun this category. The best time I got for Super Mario Sunshine 120 shines was 3 hours, 1 minute and 27 seconds. By the end of the year 2020, I did not get under 3 hours. But I know I have a potential to get under 3 hours. What is stopping me from grinding this category is the length. I have personally preferred speedrunning video games that are from 1 hour to 2 hours long. There's a lot more stuff that happened in late 2020. Super Mario 3D All-Stars was released. These games have completely separate leaderboards, but I was still doing speedruns for Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario Galaxy. Before 3D All-Stars was released, I have never speedrun Super Mario Galaxy. It was a very fun process for me to learn this speedrun. My best time for Galaxy ended up being 2 hours, 39 minutes and 52 seconds. After I got this time, I had no more interest to improve it further. Also at the end of 2020, Crash 4 It's About Time was released. I was mostly interested of doing single level time trials for this game. I held a few world records too. Full game speedruns I only ended up doing twice. And that's it for the year 2020 speedruns. What is the future holding for me? The year is 2021. I have been doing a bunch of short speedruns, and one of the hardest Super Mario Sunshine speedrun category that is out there, called Max Percent Pre-Peach. I was the first speedrunner to get under 1 hour in this category. Super Mario 3D World with Bowser's Fury was released. I played through the game first, then I did my first speedrun for 3D World. And Bowser's Fury was a short speedrun I enjoyed doing. I have been doing runs for it a lot. Over the past years, there have been at least 4 different games where I was arguably one of the best runners. And these games are Super Mario Sunshine, Twilight Princess, Super Mario Odyssey, and Link's Awakening. For each of these games I have been one of the best runners at the time. Maybe in the future I will have a 5th game joining this line. Will it be a Mario or a Zelda game? Who knows? I have been taking a part of lots of different marathons in the past, such as ESA and Finland events. Some of my best performance has been a TwitchCon Super Mario Sunshine speedrun and ESA Winter 2020 Metro Prime speedrun. We are pretty much at the end of the video, so it's time to close this out. Being a speedrunner has given me some of the greatest moments in my life. Remember I told you about the time I was so determined to get in Super Mario Sunshine? I still not have gotten 1 hour and 40 minutes in any percent. But I would have this run happen on February 7th, 2021. So much for that, huh? At this point, it had been over a year since my last personal best time. And surely, this run dying right at the last split would stop me trying, right? Well, no, because on the next day, this happened.
Let's go! Let's go! I got it! Finally!
Always push yourself to keep going, even if it will take a year to reach your goal time. One day, you will get that time, and you feel that satisfaction when the grind is finally over. People have been inspired of my speedruns, and I am grateful I have had an impact on inspiring people to start speedrunning themselves. I am Samura1man, and thank you for watching.